Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, good morning. I'm fine, thank you. How is everybody? I haven't got all the mixed cloud up this morning just yet, just my one. So good morning to everyone on mixed cloud. I can see my voice has gone from shouting at football yesterday. It didn't come home, did it? Football
No,
did not
it
come
never
home.
came home. It didn't come home at all.
It didn't
And
come home.
I was hoping that they would bring it home. I actually was hoping that this time they could actually do. I actually thought that they might have just edged it, but they just ran out of steam, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean Spain were all over them. They were all over them. They had younger legs kicking those balls. I'm telling you. But I felt it for them. We had a whole backing of England, and that's the nicest thing. So they had a good run. They did well. They got to the finals, um, but they can't finish, can they? They haven't got they haven't got the
Getting over
juice to
that
finish.
line. Yeah.
No.
Um, the thing about it is with Spain, it's like they wanted it. I mean, that striker came running in between the lines and got that ball in the box, and he got it. Whereas with you look at England's attack, it just was not happening. I mean, we need somebody who is quick, somebody who will fight for the ball, who will fight right there in the middle, and a striker that stays in that middle and just receive the ball and put it in the back of the net when it comes to your feet. You put the ball in 10, 15 times, get the service, yes, but unfortunately, but you know what? They can be proud of themselves. They done very well.
Yeah, they should be proud of themselves. I mean, any team making it to the finals, it's not easy
No,
battling through how many teams are that you've got to play to lift that trophy. It's a coveted trophy, the Euros and the World Cup. So it would have been nice, but it just wasn't to be. I remember I was on my way. I had to come back to Wolves, and after Spain called that second goal, I was like, right, okay, going up to the train station now. Let's go. England not coming back.
home time.
It's home time.
Yeah,
So
but
but I had a great weekend. It consisted of, first of all, it started off with women's tennis on the Saturday for the finals of Wimbledon. So watch that, and then obviously for Pablo's birthday on Saturday. What a night! I heard you speaking about it as well. Jack's happy. It's good to meet you in the flesh. Susie Cruz, Spice Nice, all of these names, all these mixed clouders that we're finally getting to meet in the flesh. And you've got to excuse us. I mean, I'm meeting people every week, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm so and so," and then the following week comes, and then I've forgotten them again. So, if I ask your name again, just forgive me. There are so many people that we meet that sometimes we only see once in every couple of months that it's impossible to remember everybody. So it's not rudeness; it's the sheer amount of people that we meet. We have to stop going out. That's what it is. Stop raving. Stop
we'll get
meeting
better
people.
memory. I think my memory's getting better because I did remember quite a few of the people that we met previously. But yes, it is a bit difficult sometimes. So people see you every day and it's like, yes, they got this online relationship thing going on and say, right, yes, I know. So when you see that,
Yeah, say
yeah,
good
I'm
morning
so
every
and
day.
so, you're
See the
like,
names.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But I mean, Jen was there,
Yes, and
right?
Jen Jen. Yes. Oh my
Big up Jen
gosh.
Jen. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jen
Yeah,
Jen.
so it's wonderful to meet all of you guys. Honestly, it's a pleasure to know that can see the face behind the mixed cloud names. So keep on saying hello when you see us. It's always good to meet you guys. But yes, and also happy birthday to the man like the one and only Pablo. And we had a good time on Saturday. If I've got a hot minute, I'll try and upload one of the videos. Just ignore me trying to sing. All right, I do get my vocals out when I've had a glass or two, and think that I can rule the world with my voice. I feel like
I
I'm
must
another
say,
Beyonce.
looking at that video, I'm watching that on Facebook. It just cracks me up when everyone's just like fighting for that camera. So I was in there, Marie B. It was oh gosh, the
Dimples was there.
Dimples. Yeah, everybody's like fighting for that camera. Lady B, you just couldn't get that hair out of the camera. You just could not get it. It's like every minute, straight up at the front. But it was lovely, smiling faces.
It was lovely. And you played a track earlier on there. Well, not earlier on, not too long ago. Amory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
One thing.
oh, do you know I love that track? I was watching, I think a YouTube video on that, and she was performing, and I think Beyonce was sitting in the crowd at the time, looking at her like, "Oh my God, who is this woman?" Because Amory could dance. She's
Yeah,
fierce, and she's
she's
on the
very.
same kind of energetic levels as Beyonce. And in Beyonce's climb to the top, hey, There's no space for any other woman apart from Beyonce. All of those
Absolutely, she wants to
ladies.
stay there, doesn't she?
Yeah. And it's amazing because Beyonce always, every time there's a female artist that's doing really well, she wants to collaborate with them. So she collaborated with Shakira.
Hmm.
I'm sure she's collaborated with Miley Cyrus. She's collaborated with some of the top female artists. The big lady, I can't
Well,
remember her
the thing
name.
about it is, you know, if you want to stay at the top of your game, you know, it is all about collaboration, and you know, also it helps bringing other artists up as well, and
No, but
getting them known too.
yeah, but Shakira wasn't an artist that needed to get known.
No,
I think Beyonce was just trying to
exactly.
prove a point that she could dance like Shakira with the waists and the
Shakira,
belly
Shakira.
dancing. The only
Yeah.
person I haven't seen her collaborate with, Rihanna.
Oh gosh, Chad. No, you know what they say, you can't have two women in the kitchen, you know.
Yeah, Rihanna's, in her own rights, a rich lady, and she's talented in her own rights as well as
Absolutely.
Beyonce is.
Absolutely. And also lots of other things that goes on in history with Rihanna, so that is not going to
Yeah, they
happen.
share Jay Z, don't they? That's what they've got in common.
It's
They've
not
had a bit of
going
Jay
to
Z.
happen. They've all had a bit of Jay-Z.
They've all had a bit of Jay Z.
Mm.
Anyway, we'll come back after this with some news. I wasn't even
News.
ready for anything. There's me sort of like shuffling in, trying to sort a few bits out. But one of the things I actually want to talk about this morning that surprised me, because sometimes I'm looking at the news every day. Other days I'll leave it for a couple of days. But we need to talk about the attempted Trump assassination, and the conspiracy theories behind that one now. So a few days ago, Trump was at a rally. Where was he? Was he in Oklahoma? He was somewhere.
Mm.
And a sniper took shot, and one of his ears got injured in the process, and an innocent man was also killed. Now, we've got some real iconic pictures coming out from the day with Trump sort of like hands up in the air. It's almost like a Black Power salute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As if to say, you're not going to get rid of me that easy, and I'm still here. The picture's actually gone quite viral. But also on top of that come the conspiracy theorists. As with all things that happen, it's like, did it really happen? Is it real?
Especially in America, isn't it?
Especially when it comes to Trump. Don't put nothing past Trump whatsoever to be contorted into some sort of story that makes him look amazing. He's such a narcissist. But they're saying that they don't believe that this gunman was able to operate such as this, and it had to be an inside job. So, first of all, there was something I saw on Twitter yesterday about a guy. He was a proper redneck. He had proper ginger hair, everything. He was such a redneck. It was in Redneck City, that's all I know. He was a complete and utter redneck. But he was saying that when they entered in, they saw the sniper on the... So lots of people were reporting they saw the sniper on the roof a good few minutes before Trump even started his speech, and wondered how someone wants to get up there when Secret Service is supposed to be everywhere. So they're now questioning the validity of the Secret Service. And people were shouting out, there's a gunman on the roof as well, to which the Secret Service didn't respond to. So we don't know whether it's a staging. Did he stage it in order to kind of win points? Now, the jokes are going around saying, well, if I didn't think about Trump now, I'm going to vote for him, And the worst thing is that America has got a similar disposition, haven't they, Sharky?
Yeah.
America's got a similar disposition to the UK, in that they've got two candidates up there that are not really valid to be in the process. But
No.
nevertheless, they're the best to choose from. Biden, I don't even know if that man is going to survive past the election day. He looks like...
I actually don't understand how he's the president of America, to be honest with you. I don't get it. He doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense is that this man is so old that he's forgetting his words and he's tripping up.
Exactly.
And yet they're saying he's fit to run one of the most powerful countries in the world now. Just who are the pull stringers behind Biden? Because Biden's not in power. In that state that he's in, he can't even remember names, let alone bits of papers. He can't remember leaders' names. So how is he supposed to do all this paperwork to run, fit to run a country? He's got other people running it, and they're afraid that if Biden goes, they're not going to be able to pull strings anymore. That's exactly what it is. Biden should pull out, let Michelle Obama come in against
I
a
like that one.
valid, as a valid opposer to Trump, because Trump's going to win this.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that.
He's going to win this by
Yeah,
a landslide.
I mean, when I saw it, the first thing I thought it was a setup. I mean, that was my first thing. You know, he held his ear, dropped down on the floor. Then, I just didn't understand how somebody, of Trump's stature, somebody of his authority, or his, how he ended up getting shot or, almost assassinated. I don't understand. I mean, like you turned and said, the Secret Service would have been all over that place. How someone got on a roof with a rifle, able to shoot him, kill somebody else, and they shot the person, didn't they?
They did. They
They
killed him.
shot and killed him.
They shot him dead.
I think somebody's been paid off here.
Yeah, the fact that they shot him dead as well. Sometimes they can. You'd want to shoot to find out how he did this. Like
Yeah,
shoot to
they'd
maim.
want to, yeah, and then keep him alive, really, because obviously you want to find that it doesn't make sense killing someone, shoot them up in their legs, their hands. You know, the one thing I was saying about in America, they are sharpshooters. The one thing they
Super
got
sharp
skill at
shooters.
is they know how to shoot and they know how to aim and they know how to kill and they know how to maim. For them to shoot up this guy and kill him and not take him alive to find out what actually where he come from, there's something a bit suspicious going on there.
And you don't know the motive or anything. Yeah, it's as suspicious as Kate Middleton, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching tennis and I'm watching the final. And well done to Alcaraz. Alcaraz, I was watching it between him and Docky. What a game! Straight sets. Docky got beaten. Anyway, so I'm watching the fact that Kate Middleton attended tennis. And they're saying, well done to the princess. She's been having rounds of chemotherapy as cancer. She's coming back. Well, I've never seen a person have a full, thick head of hair after cancer treatment, right? Kate Middleton has got a full, thick, glossy head of hair. Now, most cancer victims have, and I could be wrong here, so forgive me, have chemotherapy or radiation treatment, both of which contribute to hair loss.
Hmm.
Anybody that's gone through any kind of cancer treatment normally doesn't always come out looking bright and breezy, although there's an exception to that. So, I mean, to be quite honest with you, because I've never gone through it, I don't know. So it's hard for me to speculate, and it's wrong of me to speculate like this, and especially to those that are particularly suffering. But Kate Middleton, I kind of reckon there's something else going on there. I reckon that she had a nervous breakdown. I reckon she found out that William had another child, that he had an affair, and that was it.
Has he got
I don't,
another child? Has he got another child?
apparently,
Oh wow.
apparently, apparently,
Oh wow. Didn't
apparently,
know that one.
apparently. But they're all. You never see them affectionate in public, and I can't remember the last time I've seen them two together, William and Kate.
Mm.
When's the last? When was the last official visit that they've been on? That they've been together. I've seen William separate. William was at the football. Kate was at the tennis, but they are not together.
Don't you find it amazing that Harry, his brother, is solid with his wife? Going about his life, doing his things, survival on the marriage, loyal and faithful, and everything right that the royal should stand for. And these two, what goes on in the royal family with these two? They're like, you know,
In the meantime, they're trying to kick Prince Andrew into Frogmore House, Harry and Meghan's old home. Prince
really.
Andrew is dragging his feet. He's so entitled. He really is. I was watching the episode of A Crown where Prince Andrew was in it growing up, and the Queen absolutely did adore Andrew. That was her favourite, and she protected him at all costs. And when she went, he must have cried like a baby because he realised that no one was going to protect him.
Yeah. But it runs in
Nobody.
that family that that kind of behaviour. It runs in the royal family from daddy all the way down.
Oh, it's just I don't know what kind of marriage they've got. I'd rather be Harry and Meghan any day rather than Kate and William. William's cold. He's very cold. Very
Yeah.
manipulative and very cold. I don't like him. And he's got
Nah.
no hair. So, no.
Balls. Come on, bring about Harry.
He needs to shave his head. Stop leaving. Why is it that
some.
So, thank you. Why is it that some people like to leave hair around the sides and in the middle when it's bald? Just shave your hair off or get a hair transplant. You can afford it, William. You can afford it. Now, First Lady said, not even when she made the speech about illness was he by her side. No! She was making a devastating, big announcement and he wasn't there. William and Kate have not been seen together for a little while. There's something going on. She had a nervous breakdown, and I don't know what she was wearing. I don't know why they turn around and say her and Princess Beatrice, Andrew's daughter, they turn around and say they are the epitome of fashion. Kate just wears these dresses. Don't She's got no curves whatsoever, none. She's straight up and down,
I am
straight up and
bored.
down.
I am bored.
She is. And Laurie says HPQ. It depends on the cancer and the chemo treatment. Not everyone loses their hair. My something hers and my mum didn't lose hers. Different chemo.
I
You're
think
right
my
because
sister, I think she might be trying to say.
yeah, her sister didn't lose hers and my mum didn't lose hers. Different chemo.
Okay.
Do you know? As I was talking, I felt like I was twisting myself up because my friend, one of my very very good friends, had cancer. And she didn't have chemo, or she had bits of chemo, and she didn't lose her hair. And that's why I started kind of backtracking as I was talking, because I realised you don't always lose your hair. But she just looks the epitome of health and not the grueling state that she said she was in, because she was missing for months. It wasn't even like 6 weeks, it was months she was missing for. And I don't know. Somebody else let me know. I don't know about Kate. That's my conspiracy theory anyway. I reckon something went on between her and William. Something all right, as we say. Something all right. But just very quickly, I'm going to talk about football for a minute, because I was down in London yesterday. And as I said, when Spain scored that goal, I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to get on a train and go home. As I get to East Croydon, could I get a train though? Where have half the trains gone? Well, that's because there was real misery, because most of the train drivers were watching footy on the TV and half of them didn't come into work. So basically, like I said, the disruption was caused by train crew choosing to watch the Euro 2024 apart from taking the passengers home. Now, from what I was told is that the railways rely a lot on the services of overtime. So they have their full train crew, but they also run a lot of the services on the train drivers completing overtime. And of course, no one signs up for overtime because of the fact that Euros is on. So all the trains are delayed, cancelled. There was, I think I got there at 10 o'clock and we're still waiting on a train from 9 o'clock to get put into the station. So it was a popular day yesterday, a popular day. The roads were clear. At one point you could go on the roads and there was no traffic completely on the roads. And here he is, Mr. DJ, SharkyDJ's back. You want to play your tune again? Tony. You know, the funny thing is I was looking on Facebook and someone had, what tune was it playing? It Never Rains in Southern California.
We should have a track called "It Always Rains in London." Or it always rains in England. That's what we should have. It always rains in the UK.
Yeah, and it just reminded me of his albums and everything. I loved Raphael Sadiq. I really do. Love Tony. So great
You
tune.
certainly do, don't you?
Yes, I do. But talking about artists, there are some artists that are very, very painful and need to get over themselves. They really do. And we know that when you make it to the big time, you seem to want to have a big entourage and make ridiculous demands. Well, that's what happened over a music festival between Steel Pulse and Burna Boy. This has been making has been making the rounds on social media. Now, World of Reggae was, I think, the event that was going on. Now, Steel Pulse obviously are an iconic reggae group. They've been in this world for years and deserves respect. Right, so Burna Boy is coming in now, and they were told, Steel Pulse were told that they need to leave their dressing room because Burna Boy needed 4 dressing rooms for him and his entourage. Now, Steel Pulse stood their ground and said no. And in fact, he wrote something on his Instagram account. And he said Selwyn Brown, who's on the keyboards, original member of Steel Pulse, was absolutely livid, and their team stood their ground and told them to beat it because you can't do that to people, especially a band that has paved the way for reggae music, which they have, Steel Pulse, right?
Yeah.
It was a Summer Jam festival, I should say. Why do you need a full security of a team that think they can come in and bully people? Who the hell does Burna Boy think he is? And because of us refusing to leave, the security team proceeded to build a barricade of a blacked out chain link fence that split the hallway between our dressing room and his dressing room, making it feel like we were in prison or something. I hope these legendary reggae festivals realise this can't be a part of reggae culture. That's Babylon business. We
Yep.
don't treat people like that. Please recognise this because Steel Pulse was fully disrespected. Reggae promotes peace, love, and unity. Stand up for your rights. We must never give up the fight, as Bob Marley said.
Mm.
Um,
They were very annoyed, and the thing about it as well is like Afrobeats has crept into the music scene pretty, quick, and it's been taken over everywhere. And what they're actually saying is, what is the Afrobeats, doing at a reggae festival? You know, I know there's a lot of crossover going on with a lot of the artists crossing over to reggae music and also soca and everything else. But they should really be respecting each other, especially as artists. Putting music out there. It's not about them. And for those reasons, it would make me think. I don't want to go and see that guy.
yeah, I mean, I like Burna Boy, but
Yeah, so
like
do I.
football, right? I'm not paying 1,600 for a
Nope.
ticket to go and
Never
watch something
understood
for a
that.
few hours. I don't understand anyone paying any ridiculous amount of money to go and watch someone stand up. I'm not a huge concert fan, period, because I prefer the music they bring out on tracks as opposed to the live music when they change it up, because that's what we knew and that's what we like. And even when they go on stage, they're singing extras, or when they sing live, it's not coming out like the trap music. I kind of refuse to pay hundreds of pounds to watch an artist on stage. I don't believe in that. When Beyonce did her Renaissance tour, I point blank refused to even think about getting one of them tickets. That to
Mm.
me is a waste of money. I could be lying on a beach creating memories for a
Exactly.
week.
Why make somebody else rich? And you know what? I mean, like I said, I
We're
don't
making
mind
her
supporting
rich.
them. I don't mind making some of these, artists if they give back. If they give back to society in a good way and they show it, then I'll support them all the way. But nah, not
It's
making
the amount.
somebody
It's
else.
the amount of money they're making. I mean, she's a billionaire, and it's like I need to charge £500 for my ticket. Like, why?
Mm.
Why can't you front some of it yourself and give back to the fans? Fans, you've been supporting me for whole years. I wouldn't have had this career if it wasn't for you. Here's a free concert I'm gonna do for a whole week.
Or
One
even,
free concert a time in my tour in a city
or even if they done a concert and said, you know what, we're gonna give this all everything all the proceeds to charity. You know what? I'm down
for
for
one of
that.
my concerts.
For one
Yeah.
of my concerts, everything's going to a charity. We'll pay our expenses and then everything else, or we'll do the expenses. That shows that we're giving back some of the money, and the concert, everything will go to charity. I'll tell you what, I would definitely buy a ticket and go and see her.
Yeah, but I'm not. As I've said to many people, I'm not lining any artist's pockets. I'm not
Nah.
doing it. I'm tired of giving away free money. That goes for a lot of things, a lot of changes that are going on in my life. So
Mm.
no to paying that kind of money. And football, I heard the tickets once they heard that England was reaching the final.
Mm.
And bless you for those that paid 1,600 to watch your team lose. It's a lot of money to lose.
It is, isn't it? Whole lot.
Yeah, that's how much the tickets were going for, and on the black market, even more. So good luck to everybody. It's not my thing, but I'm sure it's a lot of people's thing. Now,
Yeah.
good morning, Lady B. I hope you're good. I hope you heard me talking about Burner Boy. Burner Boy, he needs to sort his life out. I know he's top dog, but come on, pay respect to the reggae artists. Then,
Yes, yes.
anyway, when we come back, we can talk about the brink of collapse with prisons. Now, we had a mini debate, row, conversation, argument, fight, near fisticuffs a couple of weeks ago regarding the young lady that was going to be jailed for, or we were asking for her to be hung, drawn, and quartered and jailed for having sex with an inmate. And I said to you, I don't think it's a jailable offence. It's not worth jail. Well, now we're coming to that point. Our jails are full. We've got just over 1,000 spaces left in the whole of our prisons in the UK. The prisons are bursting at seams, and the government have to make decisions about early releases for prisoners. So we're going to very soon let a raft of prisoners out. What's the impact going to be? Let's discuss that after this.
So HBQ, what else have you got for us this morning? What are we going to talk about? We was going to talk about trying to remember what you
Prisons.
said.
Overcrowding in prisons.
Prisons. Oh yes. Should she or should she not go to prison? I still say she should go to prison.
You still think that? Well, to be quite honest with you, there's only just a little over, not even over 1,000 places. There's just a little over 700 places left in the UK adult male prisons. Now, the new is it Home Secretary has warned that there is a total collapse of the prison system and a total breakdown of law and order if urgent action is not taken to ease prison overcrowding. Now, basically, they're saying under her plan, or under plans that are being discussed, they will start to release some prisoners after they've served 40% of their sentence in England and Wales rather than the current 50%. And they're expecting the first batch of prisoners to be released in September to be in the low thousands, with the further releases over the next 18 months and updates made to parliaments every 3 months. Now, over the next 18 months, the Ministry of Justice had verified with the BBC that it estimates up to 4,000 extra male prisoners and fewer than 1,000 female prisoners will be released under the new measures. Now, rest assured, sentences for serious violent offenders of 4 years or more and sex offenders will be automatically excluded from the change, as will the early release of offenders in prison for domestic abuse or connected crimes such as stalking and choking. So none of those prisoners will be able to be released, but for the low-level offences, they're all coming out. Now, what I need to understand is, now I understand that prison is definitely overcrowded. We are sending people to jail for all sorts of reasons. They're mentally incapacitated, committing crimes, go to prison. Well, they need help with their mental illness, not prison. And prisons are only short shocks to say, you know, do better or you're going to be incarcerated. People spend their lifetime going into prison and think it's an easier system than being on the streets. Even homeless people steal so they can go to prison because it's warmer in prison than it is on the actual streets. So you need to tackle some of the environment issues as well as tackling the overcrowding. Now, we've got a serious problem with housing as well. Okay, we've got not enough housing for people, and it's notorious for prisoners to come out in the first place, or the first things that present them is finding a place to live. Now, are the councils going to put prisoners that have been released at the top of their list to be rehoused? Are they just going to get rehoused automatically, or do they have to fight for housing like the rest of us? And where are we going to get 4,000 extra homes from with these prisoners being released in September? So yes, we need to ease overcrowding, but what are you going to do with them? And they're building more prisons to have another 20,000 capacity, which means that you want to jail more people. We are not finding the solutions, we are just adding to them. You know, it's a big, massive circle that just goes, a wheel that just goes round, and the cog is still rolling. You need to tackle the root causes. We know this. Building more prisons, letting people out, putting more people in again, it's not a solution to the problem, and we're adding to it.
What do you think about like just ideas of keeping people out of prison? Because obviously you got people like shoplifters and petty crime, reoffending, driving offence, prisoners and people like that. What do you think about house arrest? Like, you know, putting a tag on them, a curfew,
Absolutely.
things like that could work.
Absolutely, they've got all these measures in place that they can do other community type sentencing, fines, curfews, as you said, tags, all sorts of things going, restoration, lots of things. But for some
there are
reason,
people in prison that don't want to be there. Of course, there's some that, you know, obviously they see it as a home, but there are a lot of people that have gone to prison that really don't really need to be in prison for certain offences that they done. So yes,
like sleeping with a prisoner, like sleeping with a prisoner. I still don't think that's not a jailable offence. It's just not a jailable offence. I don't care what they do. It really isn't. A serious crime, rape, abuse, sex trafficking,
bringing phones
murder,
into the prison and giving to prisoners, bringing
arson, and things like
contraband.
that. I mean, if she was found guilty of it, then I still don't think it's a
Gosh,
jailable
you're a lenient
offence.
judge. You'd be a very
I still
lenient
don't think it's a
judge.
jailable offence. They haven't caused no harm. What hurts people more is in the way of their pockets. We all know this. You keep finding someone, how many more times are they going to keep committing a crime? You take the sale of proceeds away from her as well. So all this money that she's made of contraband, strip her bank accounts and leave her with no money. That's going to hurt more than putting her into jail. She's going to go back into a system that she knows very well, that she knows how to manipulate. And
Mm.
at some point she'll get looked after because she was looking after the prisoners. So she'll be hailed as a hero. So she ain't going to jail to be hurt at all. So you're not really doing anything to hurt her by putting it in jail, apart from having a burden on the taxpayers. I want to be unburdened, not reburdened time and time again, because we're all just like, oh my God, she should go to jail. She slept with a prisoner. Oh my God, such a life-committing offence. Send her to jail. No, I'm not lenient. I just think a little bit more. Seriously, after going into police stations and watching half these people get sent to court for offences such as, from what I see, I'm just like, this is a waste of time. Either you're putting your numbers up for arrest records, or you're bored sitting in an interview for 2 hours for someone that threw a pan against a cupboard and asking them why they did that. It's a waste of time. Seriously, there's other ways that can be tackled in dealing with people who commit crime. Such as, we had a passenger that lit up a cigarette while drunk on a flight back from UK to Turkey, has been jailed. Emma, who was abusive towards flight attendants on the Jet2 flight from Antalya to Leeds on January the 28th this year, she was sentenced to 4 months in prison for smoking on a plane. So, hey, let's just jail everybody for every offence imaginable, fill up our jails, and then release them all back onto the streets early anyway. And then they're going to be unemployed because they've lost their jobs. So there's going to be the unemployment record you're going to have to think about. And then she's going to lose her home because she's been in prison for a few months. And then you've got to think about housing her. So you're adding to the people on the housing list. It's a perpetual problem that's going around without it being tackled, without much thought into how this is going to be tackled. As I said, 4,000 prisoners are going to be released in September. That's 4,000 people going onto the unemployment job list, 4,000 people that we've got to find a home for, and 4,000 homes that we just don't have. We need these governments to think properly. Get some people, some real life people in there, not these think tanks and educated people. Doesn't take a lot to think about some of these things at all. Now, Lady B says, imagine if it was a man who slept with a female inmate. Do you think he should go to jail? I don't think anyone should go to jail for sleeping with a prisoner. I can't make it any more clearer. It's not a jailable offence. Now, I'm going to leave it right there before I start going into this. It is not a jailable offence.
Oh dear.
Oh, she's looking for it. I've just had it in my hands because I saw it over there and it's not even open and she can smell it. She's desperately trying to go for it. And yeah.
While we're talking about Licky Licks, right? I think one day we came home and the Licky Licks box, there was Licky Licks all over the house. Where this cat went and bit up every single, so much Licky Licks that she got sick of Licky Licks. Because she was hungry. Honestly, you should have seen it. There was Licky Licks all over the floor, all over the house where she'd just been enjoying, and she went back. And the thing what got me is the cupboard was locked. How did she get in the cupboard and knew where the Licky Licks was?
They know where the cat food is.
That's funny.
They know. It's, yeah. Just
I'm not lying.
Willow.
I should have filmed it.
She's such a diva princess, and she had the evidence all over her because she's white. There's Licky Licks all over her face and everything. Bless her. But I totally forgot what we was talking about before. We was talking about prisoners. Whether they should be jailed. So I was just talking about the drunk passenger who lit up a cigarette while drunk on a flight back from the UK is jailed. 43. The company took a zero tolerance approach to its disruptive passenger behaviour. Gosh.
Do you know what? I understand what you're saying about the prisons, and maybe, okay, she had sex, all right, and for the sex, I agree with you. Maybe a heavy fine, loss of her job, and public shame. Okay, but lighting up on an airplane. I mean, you're on an airplane, right? There is no smoking. Okay, um, they need to have zero tolerance. People need to know that you get on a plane, you can't smoke. That's one thing that you do. If you get back, you're gonna go inside, and that I do agree. Even if it's a 4 month jail sentence and she serves, half of it, 2 months in prison, take away some of the liberties. Because I don't want to be on a plane and somebody smoking. If anybody smoking, put them in jail. Yes, I think
So just because you don't want smoking on jail, put them in jail
smoking.
for
Sorry,
smoking.
on planes, smoking on planes. Yeah, put them in jail.
All right. So what was once acceptable everywhere, you now have to go to jail for.
Yep. Zero tolerance on a plane. On a plane. If it's on a train or like somewhere on the ground, but we're up in the air now, and there's a reason why they stopped smoking. And maybe we could still smoke and it might be safe, but you know what? You're up. It's an aircraft. You're up in the sky. You know what I mean? They've stopped it for whatever reason. What if there was like a leakage of fuel or something like that, and lighting up, ignited it. Also, them sort of things. No, zero tolerance.
Well, the plane never blew up because someone was smoking on the plane before, or it ignited some fuel. It's literally away from the aircraft itself, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And we've never heard of stories of that happening. And you're right, Verona. They used to have smoking on a plane. In
They
my
did, yeah.
early days of being a trolley dolly, I worked on the airlines when people smoked on the planes. Now it was, and I was a smoker then as well. And it's beggars belief that smoking used to happen on planes, because especially if you worked at the back, because it was everywhere on a plane, and then it was towards the back of the plane that you could smoke. And every time I come off a plane, your clothes used to stink of smoke. And I did feel sorry for the passengers that used to sit next to a heavy smoker smoking all the way through the flight, and you're sitting next to them. That's not fair, definitely. Is it a jailable offence? No. But what is a jailable offence? Okay, Willow, leave it alone. What is a jailable offence is a teenager. Okay, now this teenager was 18 years old, who joined a racist mob attacking a victim with a screwdriver whilst high on ketamine. Right, so he attacked this person. Let's see what happened to him. He was so high on ketamine, and they attacked an Asian person. So this was in Liverpool in October last year. Once they cornered him, a bit like Stephen Lawrence, they racially abused, punched, kicked, and stamped on this person before stabbing him multiple times with a screwdriver and puncturing one of his lungs. Now, that deserves a prison sentence, right?
Yes.
Did he get a prison sentence? No. This 18-year-old didn't get a prison sentence because apparently it's his first offence, and he's been taking substantial steps to improve himself by applying for the army. So this is what I don't understand. We're sending people to jail for the wrong things. Why? We're sending people to jail for smoking on a plane that didn't hurt. She was drunk. The most you should do to people like that, if you're going to take a zero tolerance, ban her for life from airlines. That is making a stand. That ensures that you cannot get on a flight again. If you smoke on a plane, you cannot fly on any flight whatsoever unless it's for exceptional circumstances. That to me makes more sense rather than sending her to jail for 4 months. It does nothing. This 18-year-old stabbed, punched, kicked a boy to the ground. Right, he's young. Yes, he's still young enough to learn, but using the excuse of going into the army to spare him jail is unbelievable. That is a jail sentence. Not sleeping with someone and not getting drunk on a flight, those are not prison sentenceable at all. We just need some common sense in this country about who should be jailed and who shouldn't. And it's not for every single thing you go to jail for. It's not the answer. And we need something else. I should be the Prime Minister. I really should be.
We need to build more prisons.
Anyway, listen, let me give Willow some licky licks. I'm on a little rant this morning because he should have gone to jail. I'll tell you who else should go to jail. Thames Water, about this boss deserves 195,000 pay bonus after Thames Water's in trouble, and all your bills are going to be hiked up. They've got special permissions to hike up your Thames Water bill to pay for the failing infrastructure that they've never invested in, and also all the money that they've given out to the shareholders. Massive dividends were paid out just before Thames Water announced that they're going to collapse. They ain't got enough money to last until next year, and we're going to be paying for it again. Send them to jail.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I gave Willow some licky licks. That was cathartic for me to calm down from the rant. Willow's currently just cleaning herself. It's all round her face. She had a good munch there. But you know, I don't want to go on too much about it, but one of the other articles that I was going to talk about is the fact of schools, and you know they're always telling parents off for taking children out of school, or being late for school. You know that schools had special measures this morning because of football yesterday.
Is it?
Yep, they knew that kids were going to be staying up late to watch football because obviously it was going to go past 11 p.m. It went past 10 p.m. and they thought, you know, if it goes to extra time, it might go past 11 p.m. Many school children were staying up well over their bedtimes yesterday. You know, lots of them should have been in bed by 7, not 10 o'clock at night. So schools open today at 9:30. That's not just for the kids, that was for the teachers. Everyone was getting drunk yesterday in a pub. So yes, at 9:25 today, schools were opening. They adjusted the hours. It's amazing for football how everything's adjusted. Pubs, special licenses to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning. Schools, we can come in late. Only for football. What is it about football that turned the whole country full?
Do you know what? I just think it's that
Trains don't run. Yeah.
it's the feel good factor. Yeah. If they won, it would be a very good feel good in the morning time. You know that England had finally won a major trophy. And it's always good when you know it's something that unites everybody, isn't it? Every nation, every not nation, every
Well, it does. Every country, because countries go behind their teams and support them in full.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and the whole
I get
country
what you're
gets
trying to say
together. Yeah. So I'm really twisting my words this morning, trying to find my words. It's not coming out. If it's coming out wrong, never mind. Such is life sometimes. Yeah, I think I had too much of a late night last night.
Oh, we all did. I'm telling you. I woke up this morning. I was like, oh my God, have I really got to get up?
Do you know what? This morning I was like, I could take the day off today because I'm so tired. And then I just thought of Spice Nice thinking, where are you, Sharky? Because on Saturday she was like saying, I get annoyed when you're not on the radio in the morning because I'm looking forward to a Monday morning radio show and you rave too much. So
it's true. We're always getting up on a Monday going, I'm so wrecked from over the weekend. Honestly, this weekend Sharky was like, we're out. No, I'm not going out this weekend. I am not going out. I'm staying home.
See, I'm playing that on Saturday, and I said, HB, we're going to a 60th birthday party. And she was like, no, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going there. You go. I'm not going anyway. But I know she's got FOMO, so she might be...
Not that bad. No, I have not. No, I don't. I love doing my stuff a little bit more than raving. But anyway, coming back to Thames Water now, the boss of Thames Water has defended his 195,000 bonus as being purely based on performance. What performance? Thames Water's in trouble. He became CEO in January, right? Chris Weston became the CEO in January. We're talking about this year, 2024. Took the mega bonus for his 3 months at the helm, despite this utility giant being responsible for more than doubling the number of sewage discharges across the UK since last year. Now, Thames Water saw these figures jump from 8,015 dumps in 2022, right? Listen to this. The figures jumped from 8,015 in 2022 to a whopping 16,990 in 2023. Doubled.
Wow.
Now, speaking at a press conference after its financial results were released, he claims you need to be able to attract the right talent, the best talent to a company, and going hand in glove with that is the appropriate remuneration package. What has he done? What has he done?
Nothing. Nada. Nothing. Nothing
So
at all.
his chief financial officer, who had stepped in to be the interim CEO, also received a hefty 446,000 bonus, taking his annual salary to 1.33 million. Why are we paying these people so much money and Thames Water is in trouble? They want to increase charges by 56% in a move that will raise your average annual bill to almost £700. That's a lot of money.
Ridiculous.
Now, they're saying that it's going to be introduced over a 5-year period from 2025 to 2030, right, to starve the company's collapse. Stop paying these people so much money. So, because the investors refused to come up with a cash injection, I think the last time it went to, when they had their annual meeting, they turned around and said, we're not injecting any more cash, but they want to be paid out in massive dividends. They're saying that it's maybe it's time for nationalisation, renationalisation, I should say.
Yeah. That's what I say. Take it back, and we let the government run it like how it was before. But mind you, it could just be as bad. But you know what? Maybe the government should run all the major utility companies.
Yeah.
Take them all back. I'm so glad they didn't sell off the underground.
But
they nearly did. They nearly did.
They tried.
Yeah. We would have gone on strike. We would, if they had done that, trust me, us drivers, when I was a driver at the time when they tried to do it, we would have gone on strike. We wouldn't have driven trains. It would have been, and the thing about with the underground, you can't just put a driver on it. You have to train them properly. And I wouldn't have trained them. So, the whole lot of us would have gone on strike. The country would have shut down.
Well, you do realise in the next 10 to 15 years there will be driverless trains. There will be no need for drivers. I'll give it 15 years max. They will introduce new stocks of trains which will be driverless and controlled by AI.
Right. Listen, right. And I can tell you something because this is my serious area of expertise. That's what I know about. Even though they have driverless trains, you still need drivers. You still need people to train them. Driverless train doesn't mean that there won't be somebody on the train.
You need to train someone on a driverless train.
You need to train them, and you need to train them. If it breaks down, somebody needs to be on that train to fix it and to drive it to the next station for the customers. It ain't happening. Driverless trains just means that we've already got driverless trains.
I was going to say,
don't need drivers.
We've got some of them in Asia as well. So and the system works.
But we've
so
got it
somehow
in London.
It works.
Most of London Underground works with driverless trains. You press the buttons and trains go to the next station by themselves. But what the drivers get paid for is when it breaks down. When something goes down, those drivers have to be able to fix it. They need to know everything about that train to get it from one station to the next.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that we're paying these underground drivers $65,000 a year to push a button and be on standby in case you have to manually drive the? That's even a bigger con. I don't know if
they have to open and close the doors. They still have
to
make
decisions. That costs £65,000 a year, doesn't it?
We've had driverless trains from 1967 on the Victoria Line. That's a driverless train.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Spice Night says there'll still be a driver. Likewise, correct. Yep. Sorry.
There'll always be a driver. Yeah. When the Victoria Line was introduced, I was one of them at first when I saw it when it was a cardboard box, and I had to go up to Derby to learn all about the train and bring back the knowledge and pass it on to the managers and the drivers. I was one of the trainers, so I do know about driverless trains. You won't get a driverless train just means that, but we've already got driverless trains. It can be automated, but you do need someone on the train. So there's my rant. There's my rant.
Oh, you need to get up, wake up, get up.
I need to go back to bed. That's what I need to do. Straight back to bed after the show.
Are you doing an extended one? Oh no, Pablo's on next.
Pablo's on. I might come on with Pablo later on. Yes, I think I'd like to come on the energetic hour.
Well, just as we've got the last 15 minutes of the show, I'll do one last. I'll do a film roundup, and I'm going to save some stories for my show with Delight tomorrow. That should be a bundle of fun. But I was watching some movies over the weekend. I'm going to give my lowdown on movies, on ones to watch and ones not to watch. Now, Eddie Murphy, big fan, huge fan of Eddie Murphy's films have been iconic over the years. Beverly Hills Cops, 48 Hours, Nutty Professor, all sorts of films he's brought out. Now, he's re-released, or not re-released, released recently Axel F, which is the fourth installment, I think it is, of Beverly Hills Cops. And I have to say, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. It's a seriously disappointing film. And that's the problem, I think, sometimes when people want to still carry on with the franchise series, they make it very quickly, or they realise the audience has changed completely, and what was funny before isn't funny now. And they've reprised all the old characters. Like, remember the gay helper he had? He was on it, but it's such a lackluster film. It's unbelievable. Eddie Murphy acts in it like, and he was paid 30 million apparently to star in this. It's like he collected the money and thought, I'll just give a half-hearted performance and that'll be it. Don't care if it flops. I'm not in that time of my life anymore. I don't need to go and be a big show off and be a big chest. I've done that and worn the t-shirt. It isn't brilliant. It isn't brilliant at all. So you want to waste your time in watching it, go for it if you've got a spare couple of hours, but please don't kill yourself
Expect
in
anything,
watching
yeah.
Axel F. It was a huge disappointment. But what was a good film? Two good films I watched. The Outback, and I love watching these type films. This film is based on a couple who decide to go on a trek in the Outback, driving. They want to go and see Ayers Rock. And the husband is a bit of a nutter, makes some mad decisions. But they decided that they kept driving. The sat nav kept making them go in the wrong direction. They were relying on sat nav to get to Ayers Rock. Sat nav kept taking them in the wrong direction. And in the end, they kind of pulled up and they saw this big mountain. They said, let's walk up to the top of this big mountain and see where we are. Well, by the time they walked from their car to the top of the big mountain, it was dark. And invariably, yes, they got lost in trying to get back to the car. And then they got split up. This is in the Outback. And the Outback is thousands of miles, right? So imagine, you parked your car somewhere, walked up for over an hour up a hill, and in the middle of the night, you're trying to find your way back to the car. It weren't happening. So it just talks about the adventures of what happened to them, if they survive, whether they survive, and what happened. That was a good film.
Yeah.
That was a good film. But I always say, certain people will not do that. I mean, if I'm in the Outback and I can see it's dusk and I want to walk to the top of the hill and there's no lights, no torches, no nothing, and you don't know where you are, no. No.
Sounds like something that happened recently. It was in the news that a guy, he went out for a walk. He's used to walking terrains, and he disappeared, I think, for something like 13 or 12 days. This recently happened. If you look that story up, it's actually a true story, and they found him last week.
Yeah, the guy that turned
he
up.
went
He
out.
was
So it sounds like something like that. But he's used to doing long walks and that, and got lost and that, and had no food and that. Seems like he had a true story there, and I wouldn't be surprised if that turns into a film.
Yeah, well, you know what? All these long walks are good, and going to find islands that don't exist is all good. But let people know where you are, right? Just tell people, I'm going on this trek. This may be the route I may take, and if you don't see me after a couple of hours, call the police or call the mountain ranges or whatever you call it. But all these people that just kind of want to walk off and go trekking in, I don't know, in some mountains by themselves, that nobody else is going to know where they are. No, I'm not that adventurous, I'm afraid.
I'll tell you what, I even get frightened when I'm driving, like I was in Jamaica, driving around some of these rocky mountains, and honestly, I ended up in some places, because when I drive, I just drive, and I like to explore the island, but I say to myself, in some of these areas, what happens if the car breaks down? You're just in the middle of nowhere, and I don't even know where I am. The phone's not working. So the one thing I always make sure is that I have 2 charged phones, and ensure that I've got petrol full tank wherever I'm going, and let people know that I'm out and about. And that is frightening, much less to be going into these outbacks and you don't even know where you are.
But at least in the Caribbean, you haven't got the fear of like kangaroos, tigers, elephants, all these kind of animals that could eat you. Big. Well, they do have some insects in Jamaica, but you got to fight with trying to survive in the severity of the outback, let alone fighting with the animals and giant.
Yeah.
Treble-sized insects and all sorts of things. It's just you don't just go walkabout. You don't.
That's true.
It takes a lot more. It's a lot of planning to do just in case certain things happen. You
Mm.
know, you don't
Um,
leave your car and go
yeah.
walking in the outback. You just don't. I don't care.
Jack's happy says she's watching Dexter. It's mad. God, that sounds like one to watch.
Is that a series?
It's a series. It sounds like it's yes, a series. Lady B says Dexter is amazing, but I question myself for siding with a serial killer. Well, thank you very much for giving us a spoiler, Lady B. I'm definitely going to put that one on the list of movies or series to watch.
Yeah, I will do. I'll put that on
The
to
other one
watch.
that
At the
you was
moment, I was
watching,
watching The Boys on
yeah, that
Amazon
was
Prime.
good. I mean, when you told me about that, I started watching it, and I kind of got bored, and he was like, "No, it's really, really good." So I thought, you know what? I wasn't
Stay
until
with
at the
it.
third episode, and I was kind of like doing something at the same time. So I started watching it again from the beginning and put down everything. And I'll tell you what, I'm hooked.
Yeah, it's a hookable movie. It's very
But
dark, isn't
you
it?
kind of already killed it for me, though. When you turned around and told me about the second series, I was like, oh, gosh, why did you have to say that now? Because sometimes you're watching a movie and someone says, blah, blah, but the second series, blah, blah, and you got that in your heart, so you're not expecting anything. I might enjoy it, even though you didn't. Even like the Axel, when I said, I'm going to watch it, but now it's killed now.
Oh, you should watch it still. I always
But no,
say
I will
people should
definitely
watch
watch
the
it,
film
yeah.
because
I
you just
definitely
don't
watch
know your opinion of it could be completely different to other people's opinions. So,
True.
always go ahead and watch the film. Now, listen, it's 10 to 10. I'm gonna go because Sharky's gonna round this up for the last
Yep.
9 minutes unless you're going overtime. But what I would like to do very quickly is that I said I had the video, or should I play it tomorrow with the Delight show?
Play
Maybe I
it
should play it
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Delight,
Yeah,
with Delight, yeah.
I'll play it because actually Delight was playing the music.
Was she? Oh.
She was. So we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, do it
whilst
tomorrow.
the
That was
lights
a great video, honestly. Saturday was fantastic. Actually, good morning, Kimmy Kim. I thought you would have been there as well, because Kim normally gets around, but maybe didn't get a chance of a lift down there. But you would have definitely liked it, Kimmy. Would have been good to see you as well.
Yeah. And you do know that Pablo's kicked off his show already, Tell Pablo don't inveigle on our... does he start
does
at 8 or
that.
10?
No, he starts the music, but we're gonna have to tell him off and say, listen, your show doesn't start till like 10 o'clock. Stop
Listen,
kicking into our
Pablo,
show.
don't kick into ours. And
Yeah.
Jen Jen's on the... Jen, have you left ours and gone over to Pablo's already? We haven't even finished. Wait till at
Exactly.
least we
He's that
finished.
boring. Do you
Yeah,
know what?
I'm looking on there, and Jen is on there. 3 minutes ago, a whole 3 minutes ago, she left our show to go on to Pablo's.
Right
Should
in
be
there and
ashamed of
tell her
yourself,
off.
Jen.
I'll tell her. I'll jump in and tell her
Yeah.
off myself.
Yeah, tell her. We're telling off anyone who defects over to Pablo's before our
Exactly.
time.
They can't even wait until 10 o'clock. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Pablo's on. Boom.
Gone.
Gone.
Anyway,
later.
happy birthday, Pablo, and see you later, Sharky DJ. Well, I'll see you in a minute,
Adios.
actually.
Yeah.